Get a little closer. Don't be shy. Oh, hey, greetings. We're back and we're back. This is another episode of the Economic Development Team. See, as I lean forward, my scale makes me really big, so I don't want to be weird. My name is Andre, and I am the Director of Economic Development here at Urban Impact. And we love to do these lives to encourage, to inspire, to cause for there to be exhilaration. We want you to really get ignited to be able to continue on in business and to really succeed at what you're doing. So I want to introduce the rest of you guys. Say your first name again and let's get it moving.
Absolutely. My name is Jaleel. I'm the business education coordinator. Super happy to be here every Friday. And I'm very excited about our topic today.
I asked Jaleel on one of the previous episodes, I don't know if Mara was here, but I don't remember her answer. I said, are you more of and maybe this is in the video, but I just want to refresh my memory. Are you a owl or a lark? Are you a morning person or an evening person?
Yeah.
Are you more of an owl or a lark? Are you get up, crack of dawn, or are you someone who burns the midnight oil to get a goal accomplished? You're like, I gotta stay up. Which one are you? Which side of the
definitely depends on the season, because I feel like I can be both. But lately, the season, I'm in kind of a lark season. Like, I'm not really trying to be out super late. My wife and I were actually talking about this the other day, which is
getting
so funny.
old?
Maybe, man, because we love, like, our prime time to go to the movies is like 3 to 4 p.m.
Yes.
Because then you can go into the movie. It's usually less crowded. And then when you leave, you still have some daylight left. So you feel like you have more of the day.
Absolutely.
But like, I fell asleep. Well, I was watching that movie, The Flash, and I have opinions on that for other reasons why I think I fell asleep. But I digress. It was late, and we hadn't watched a movie late in a while. And I legit, like, no one was beside me. I crashed for probably 30 minutes. I was like, wow, we're really changing. So I'm in the lark season, like, real talk.
Well, hello, I'm Mara. I'm the Economic Development Program Manager, and I adapt as needed. I love being up when nobody else is up.
Yeah, that's true.
Or being on the road when everybody's home. That works for me. But yeah, now that I have my schedule in front of me and no little ones that require anything of me, I can work as early or as late as the task requires.
So the opposites. What was your preference growing up? Were you more a lark or an owl?
Oh, well, we were bused to school.
Oh,
so
yeah. You didn't have a choice.
I swore to never be a morning person. The goal was to be able to sleep in.
Forced busing is not the matter.
So maybe because you had the bus, now you're like, I'm in owl season. I'm going to do what I need.
Yeah, but I realized being an entrepreneur, I can almost get in 2 whole different shifts if I get up and start my day earlier, So.
Oh, Cece commented, yeah, I feel you, Cece. She fell asleep at the Flash too. You understand. We're like-minded people because we could probably talk about it.
So yeah, I'm more of a morning person, so I'm a lark. But I'll say this: my children, they get on me with films as well. You talk about films. I saw the movie. We went and saw the Mario movie, and I fell asleep in part of it. No, the Spider-Verse, the second one.
Oh, that's a long one.
So the second Sony Miles Morales thing, they say, Dad, you missed some of the key part because they're pumped about it. But I'm like, hey, this is the time especially when there's 2 adults, we could get a good nap. So don't be mad. I paid good money to get a good nap. And I was like, I'm here with you in spirit. Spider-Man wins. Yay, Spider-Man. That's what I said. But yeah, I like the mornings because even in college, I didn't growing up. I think I stayed up late, just maybe out of necessity. But I woke up in the mornings and I would do all of my papers and things of that nature early in the morning. And so I love that feeling before that 3 to 6 a.m. window was really crucial for me to get a lot. I wouldn't have finished college without that because the birds are even asleep during that time. So it's just a good feel to be able to knock some stuff out before people are up. And I love what you said is like doing it the opposites of. I tell my children that
Mhm.
sometimes when I get them early and they're complaining and we go do something, and then I'll say, see, nobody's out here. We're beating what the average are doing. We're not competing because I
Yeah.
said now we're competing with everybody at the same. Oh, it's 9:30 and we're
Same
stuck in traffic. It's versus you want to get up at 6 a.m., 6:15, 5 a.m. Get it done. She said had to rewatch when it made of the night, middle of the night for when it came to schoolwork.
Sorry about that. We're still good.
And then it said, yes, had to rewatch when it came to TV. The movie, Flash, or the preview?
Yeah, CC, which one are you talking about? Or middle of the night when it came to? Oh, okay.
She's talking about being a larker owl.
Okay, okay. Ow.
So the Flash TV show, I actually watched the first 2 seasons, first 3 seasons, I think it was, and then I fell off after there was too much time travel, parallel universe, and all that. I don't want to open up the DC Pandora's box. Spider-Man, perfect. So, man, today we're going to talk. I want to talk about this fourth quarter. The fourth quarter is beginning. We're closing out Q3 and we're beginning Q4. How do you close out the year strong? How do you knock stuff out to where you're not going to be struggling when it comes to this next fiscal year? So when we're the industry we're in, fiscal year begins in September. So we're already beginning a new fiscal season. We put our budgets together and whatnot. Yet in the business realm, you're coming up into the fourth quarter. How do you close out that fourth quarter? I have family members that get irritated and friends that get irritated at me because for football or basketball, I only watch the fourth quarter. Like that's when I pull up because I'm like, this is the determining quarter. It's not the other 3.
That's
you can
true.
start out super strong. I'm like, the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter is the most important part because no matter if somebody was really up or somebody was really down, they're going to be made or they're going to be broken during that time.
You're going to find out everything you need to know.
What are you going to do to make sure your business is in the black, not just in the finances, but in the different areas? So I want to talk about what it means to finish out the year strong. And I want to hear my team's feedback, but I saw a good article that I read that's on Worth magazine. And it talked about some of the 3 areas that are ways to, dial in and get ready for the fourth quarter. And the 3 areas that they said is number 1 was train your body daily. Let's talk about that. You guys talk about the importance of the physical when it comes to doing business, when it comes to, because you are a business and then you can operate and own a business, right? But being a business, what's the importance of training your body daily? What does that mean to?
Training is it's it's one thing to be in the gym or do your walk or whatever that training element is for you. I have a coach and he self-proclaims like he's not a strength coach, but part of his programming is for us to be consistent in the gym at least 5 days a week. And he's like, for the man that you're sculpting, the man that you're creating, it's important to have your fitness dialed in because it's the discipline, it's the mindset. And so as I've been literally like actually my Apple Watch like 3 days ago gave me an update that I've been in the gym for 39 minutes on average weekly, which is like increased from last year. But also it doesn't know everything because I didn't wear my Apple Watch every time last year. So, give or take, whatever. Anyways, all that
Apple.
Yeah, take that, Apple. You don't know everything, although you're probably listening to this conversation. Shut up. But real talk. So I have found that it helps me to de-stress. You know what I'm saying? I get more focused. And then sometimes like when you're just in the zone, I get ideas. And so especially in the Q4, we're talking holidays, families, and excuses. Ultimately,
That's real.
Oh, I'm going to do that. It's like, this is the season of procrastination. So to your point, if we're going to do something better, then we need to do the opposite. Well, the opposite is to take initiative when everyone wants to procrastinate.
When everybody's relaxing, are you
going to stay focused?
Are you sprinting?
Are you sprinting? And at minimum, is it like, can you do something consistently? Like whatever it is in your business, the thing that moves the needle, can you do that? 15 minutes a day. Maybe you just need to make a few calls, maybe need to write a social media post. But if you decide to procrastinate like everyone else, then you're going to be just like everyone else, making a New Year's resolution, hoping that, wondering why your business is slow in the first 3 months because you didn't do anything for the last 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I know we're talking about working out. But
no, it's good.
It's
because it's the fourth quarter. How does training your body play into things? You have any thoughts on that, Mara?
Sure. So when I think about training my body, I think about investing in my own system, right? My body clock, my sleep bank. So don't let yourself get worn down to the point where you're not functioning or productive in your business. So where you see room, take it. Schedule out some me time if you need to, a nap if you need to. Like, you are the person that makes the choices to set yourself up for success. So remember, it all starts with you. And for example, just try something different if you're not progressing on your to-do list, especially when it comes to reconciling paperwork and stuff. So we're on Pacific time. Wake up at 6 one day a week and make those calls to the businesses on the East Coast that are open. Follow up and finish up the business, follow up on those accounts receivable. Those people that need a reminder email or whatever, block out that time so you can train yourself to do it more frequently, and then you're not behind when it comes to the end of the year.
How important is energy management for each one of us? Because people talk about time management quite a bit, and people even talk about priority management, but I seldom hear people talk about energy management. What are your thoughts on that?
I would say, really in a lot of ways, like energy management has the same importance, if not more importance than time management. Because in reality, really, you can only manage yourself. You can't manage time. Time moves with or without you. So you're really managing your space, yourself within the space of time that you have. So when you come to energy management, like Mara was talking about, your sleep, which is huge. We can get into your diet, which affects your energy, your workout schedule, or the lack thereof affects your energy. Like when you're going through hard times, working out is probably one of the best things you can do. You start releasing so much dopamine into your brain, and that you literally have more life when you come into different spaces, and then people can feel that. But if you're not, then you you talked about your dietary stuff and making the choice to say, hey, for my energy and how I feel, I'm going to make decision. Maybe you can talk about that a little bit and how that translates.
So yes, I know for diet personally, because of just a host of challenges with eating throughout some time, that people ask me, why do I eat? My wife jokes even in that she can predict what I'm eating. Like, oh, how was your salmon today? I'm like, how you know I had salmon today? Because I know you. I know what you're doing. So, hey, the reason why I eat the same things consistently and I've systematized how I eat is because how I feel is of the utmost importance. I've had way too many days, way more than I would love, of not feeling well. And when I don't feel well, it's harder to do well. There have been times, of course, that I press through because you're an adult, so you do things and you make things happen. But nobody wants to put on a brave game face and then crawl into bed, curl into bed in the fetal position and cry when nobody's around. Because you're like, oh my gosh, how much longer can I do this? Like, nobody wants to be that person wearing the mask. So I'm encouraging entrepreneurs is that to listen to, she talked about your body clock, listen to your body speaking to you about what works well in your body and what doesn't. If we're quiet enough, this is not some deep metaphysical stuff. This is just some real life things. We know there are things that don't agree with us, but we keep pushing it to the side as far as like, but I'm sure. Like, no, you might go well with, let me knock out grains for a while. I'm not going to do any grains, or I'm not going to do carbs, or I'm just going to do, meat and vegetables, or I'm just going to do vegetables. I might take some days where it's literally just vegetables. I might discipline myself to where some days I'm not eating until 2 and 3 o'clock, but I'm drinking water and I'm letting my stomach rest. Like, figure out things that are going to work well for you, that are going to boost your energy level so that you can be of optimum, because the energy management that's what we got. So entrepreneurs, our encouragement is that we want to see our entrepreneurs bubbling forth.
Yeah.
I don't want to say thrive because we overuse that word. We want to see them bubbling forth. We want to see them in abundance of energy. We want to see an energy bank, an overflow of energy that, I got excess energy. I created energy. And do you know that you literally create energy when you're operating in your gifting, in your domain of expertise, in your domain of genius, in your domain of dominance? Like there is a zone of dominance that each one of us has, because that's just how the creator shaped us, is that there are things that we do that when we do them, certain activities, it creates energy. We lose track of time. We're optimum. We solve problems for others. People get a high value from being in our presence when we're operating in that. So manage our energy in a manner to where we're saying, I've heard that even said, this is the next thing in the articles. It says, so train your body daily. The next one is elevate your thinking. Let's talk about the mind. Yeah. How important is it to manage your mind and the thoughts, right?
So literally a scripture that came to my mind, I forget the reference, but it's God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And some translations, self-discipline.
Yep.
I've been thinking about that scripture a lot recently. And what is fear? One of our Aisha, we did an interview with her, and before she brought this product line to the market, she had been thinking about it for like 10 years plus.
Yes.
It had been on her mind. It's still that interview sticks with me today. It had been on her mind, in her spirit, for 10 years plus. It might have been 13, something like that. And I asked her, why didn't you do it 10 years ago? Because she ended up bringing the product line to fruition during the pandemic when she needed to pivot. But she didn't do it because she was afraid. She said fear of uncertainty. Fear is the exact opposite energy that God wants us to operate in, because he hasn't given it to us. He gave us power, love, and a sound mind, or self-discipline. So if we want to create energy in our lives, if we want to create energy into our businesses, maybe we should start, studying just those three aspects. All right, that power, that love, that self-discipline. Well, I really do argue that power will come from self-discipline.
That's good.
And so we apply that to ourselves, to our diets, to our fitness, right? To our businesses. And so, for example, like Q4, we're talking about how can we win in Q4? Q4 is the time that sets you up for Q1, right? It's like
cyclical.
It's cyclical. Like it doesn't stop. So we have all these holidays, but it's almost like a great marketing capitalistic distraction, because now we're giving ourselves excuses to not work.
To keep putting off in the most important time, when we are going to start off that Gregorian calendar saying of how we had so many thoughts of where we wanted to be, but we're not there, because if we forsook Q4 for leisure, like we prioritize leisure, and I'm all for it, believe me, when it comes to holidays, set apart days, even weekly, I make time and prioritize for the family. Yet I'm saying that if you and your family and they don't own businesses and they broke and everybody's upset, we ain't doing no. I love there's a verse in the Bible that talks about these people who are lepers, and they're sitting around and they're saying we're no good to each other, and then a miracle happens because they get moving into the city, and when they go into the city, a miracle happens that they sounded like an army and they get to plunder all this different stuff for free because they took movement, they took action. Same thing happened with Jacob and his sons during the famine, that they're sitting there, and Jacob says, you could tell he was a Hebrew dude. He looked at his kids and was like, why y'all grown folks sitting around here doing nothing? We ain't no good. Go get us some food, man.
Sounds like
we ran out of food, right? Thanksgiving. So I'm saying pick the you can both take that time and set it apart or sanctify it to get quality connection with our family members. But then we could also make sure to prioritize to get the things done that need to be done, because we want to set ourselves up. You want your business to be, man, I leveled up as a result of this. So the leveling up with elevating your thinking, how important is that? You talked about that. It's not a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind, stable mind, self-discipline. Elevated not thinking. Double-minded, but single-minded, single focus, single eye. You, Mara, any thoughts on the importance of thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need to take a day off and just focus on mindset if you don't understand your reason why. That should be at the top of your mind every day when you choose to conquer tasks. Remember your reason why. I mean, in my lifestyle, my money's already spent before I go make it because I know my reason why. And it's very clear. I live to be my best self every day. It's a no brainer for me, and I'm remaining patient and disciplined. So I don't live in fear when it comes to making moves for my business. I'm using my gifts and accepting the assignment. It's really a beautiful thing when you understand you. So
Scarcity based thinking versus abundance, growth mindset versus fixed mindset. We had to go to a parent orientation night for one of our children, and they had the diagram that they show all the children about a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, which is a powerful concept that was really coined the phrase by an author named Carol Dweck. She has a book called Mindset. We alluded to it in a previous one, probably put a link there. But the link, I mean, the graphic that they had the growth mindset, which is that through practice, through deliberate practice, through failing, through getting feedback, I can grow, I can expand. The fixed mindset is that whatever I arrive with, whatever talents and abilities and skills I arrive with, that's just how it is. It can never get better. Right? I don't like critical feedback. I don't want to challenge myself. I don't want to be in a zone of people. I heard John Maxwell in an interview say how he's committed in his life. He's 71 years old, and he said still he does weekly learning lunches where he sits with someone who's the best in an area. He takes them out to lunch and he has questions prepared for them so that he can sit and listen and grow from them. And I said, this is powerful. He said, what are you doing in your own life to continue to grow, to not just camp out on how do you have a growth mindset? How are you putting yourself in an environment where you can continually expand and grow? And then also the scarcity-based thinking. The news constantly is negative. It's fear, uncertainty, doubt, it's anxiety, and it's heaviness. There are things that come through the airwaves that none of us have the ability to impact. They show us things that are happening across the globe, barring, I believe prayer works. So barring praying and believing that, if I'm not personally going to go physically over to that region, I can't spend a lot of time thinking about things that I can't control. Where I have my own warehouse. Imagine that. Imagine the children in your home are starving and you're like feeding all the children across the globe, and your children are like, no, I know.
Where's that for me?
I know my dad isn't over here saving the world. And our refrigerator been empty for 3 weeks, bro. What are you doing?
Can't even get a bowl of cereal.
We've been eating the one cornflake, splitting it between us, and you're sending it off to the world. You're saving it for every tragedy. And no disrespect to the real things that are going on with people. But don't give mental real estate over to things that are not in your wheelhouse. What are your key performance indicators for your business? So elevate your thinking. What are your key performance indicators for what are thoughts? How are you filtering your thoughts? How are you guarding your mind from the toxicity, from the scarcity-based thought thinking, from the fixed mindset thinking? If you weren't good at numbers years ago, when you were in 4th grade and you're 40 years old now, how many years ago was that? You can get better at this. You can grow. You can expand, right? And then the last one area that this article talks about is demand excellence from those around you. And I thought this was powerful. Let's talk about that. It's like, I'll read an excerpt. It says, life is a team sport. Business is a team sport. It's your job as a leader to preserve your own energy and self by demanding that those around you elevate their game. I mean, mic drop, right? What do you guys think about that? With abundance thinking, how are you filtering, and how would you encourage our business owners to think in terms of filtering and maximizing focus and minimizing distraction with the people that they keep around them?
I love, this is such a good article because the people, I mean, we've all heard the slogan, birds of a feather flock together, the power of associations. And in some of these associations as well, like if you're looking around yourself and you don't have any industry giants around you, you definitely have them on YouTube. You definitely have them in the library. I'll tell you, sometimes like that power of five, the 5 people you hang around with, it doesn't have to be physical people or physical locations. It can be 5. Who are the 5 brains that you communicate with the most via YouTube, via audiobooks, via physical books, right? So there is no excuses. The point is there's no excuses. I also want to slide in a couple of tactics that I was thinking about as you were talking. We're talking about our mind. We're talking about the quality of our thoughts. And if you were to run a thought analysis, small plug for principles coming up in October.
Let's go.
We're going to be able to dig deeper into our thoughts and our thought life and be able to measure some of those things so that we can take an analysis of where are you spending the most time here? Because I'll guarantee that wherever you're investing your thought life, it's producing the results that you're seeing in reality. True. And the fact that we can envision realities that aren't here yet means that whatever's going on between this 6 inches is likely more important than what's going on outside of this cranium. So small plug for principles starting October 4th. Large plug for principles October 4th. If you want to be able to kind of hack your brain so that you can optimize yourself, I definitely suggest.
The link will be in the description.
So anyways, we're thinking about, all right, what are some of the things that are going to be coming up in the next year? Like Q4 is really the time to prepare, to plant the seeds for Q1. Like it's a setup. Like in the sales industry, in my previous career at the company I worked for, they were always pushing us in Q4 because everything that you do now, you see those results 3 months from now. That's what they would tell us. And it was so true. And ultimately, like, success would be the biggest enemy of our progress because anyone that was hustling, pushing hard, you start closing some deals, making some money, then you get fat and happy, then you don't do anything. Next thing you know, your pipeline is dry and empty in 3 months, and now you're not making the checks that you were making. And they're like, well, the first question that they ask, it's not like, what's your mindset? Who did you talk to last week? They're literally always going back to, what did you do 3 months ago? And then they're looking at our lead tracker and all that stuff. So I'm telling you guys, like, if you're an entrepreneur, don't let complacency set in. Like literally, taxes is a big complaint for everyone. April is not the time.
No.
Q4 is the time.
Didn't we bring in a tax strategist in our last session of Thrive and for our sharks? Yes, we did. We want people to avail themselves prior to it. We want you to preemptively strike. We want there to be a mindset of proactive versus reactive. And we've talked about this.
And if your friends are complaining about, oh yeah, I was late on my taxes too. We're talking about demanding excellence. How can you demand excellence from your friends if you're not elevating yourself?
Yeah.
Right. And if they're on that, they're not like trying to move forward. They're just, both feet are set in and like, oh yeah, we're always going to be late. Oh, we're always going to be behind. Oh, we always got an excuse for every little thing that ever happens to us in our life. It might be time to like think about.
Oh, it's definitely time. It's no one.
You know what? You're right. Yeah, Andre's going to tell you straight. I'm the nice guy.
I'm a shooter. He's high. Relationships.
I'm the nice guy. I'm going to say, think about it. Andre's
send your hate mail here. We want to see people seriously level up, and we expect that things will go.
We will share the article, CC.
Well for
Absolutely.
you.
Yes.
We expect things will go well for you as you make these adjustments. This is just a minor drop in the bucket. We wanted to do it lighthearted. As we said, we set these things in order to just inspire you, encourage you, to inform you, to exhort you, to just spur you on to continue going forward and to spark those innovative moves. So stay firm. We want to, I love that I think it's 1 Timothy 4 probably, where it says, we'll put the scripture, or God not giving us a spirit of fear. We'll put that scripture in as well, but of power, love, and a sound mind, a stable mind, a single mind. This is your time. This is your moment. What are you waiting for? Let Q4 be that propelling. I love one mentor told me, he said, don't ever start a day until it's already completed. And I'm like, that's powerful. He said, you set the night before and you mapped out how that day is going to be. You set that day in alignment, and then you begin the day with deliberate intentionality. So that's our encouragement to you. Be deliberate, be intentional. Don't let Q4 catch you by surprise. Don't let it catch you off guard. We want to see you succeed. Reach out to us if you need us. You know where to find us at urbanimpactseattle.org, urbanimpactseattle.org. Don't miss out on the opportunities we have. Sign up for Principles today. What are you waiting for? This course is going to change your life. We are ready to always bring our A game. We're not going to sleep because God's never sleeping. I don't know what I'm saying, but hey, team, sign off. We'll see you next week.
Do more in Q4. See you next week.
Boom, shalom.